Hello, my name is Hattie Westerfeld, and I was a player under Coach D my junior and senior year at ISU, Indiana State. I was a center for the program, and Coach D and I really developed a great relationship my final year here. My junior year, I tore my ACL, so I wasn't as integrated as I was my senior year. So being able to develop that relationship with her my last year was really amazing, and it was really needed for me because I went through some different things as a player, didn't always have the greatest experiences, and so it was always nice to have somebody to lean on, somebody who truly cared about me as a person first and not just as a player. She always wanted me to do my best on the court because she knew that made me happy, that helped the team out, but she truly cared about me as a player. She cared about my mental health. She cared about everything else that was going on in my life also, and not just on the court. So to me, that's really what made her such a great coach, is that she cared about us as people first and then as players. On the court, I struggled kind of coming back from my knee surgery to be able to trust myself to be the player that I was before. So I did some individual work with a different coach, but once I started doing individual work with Coach D, I really found myself to be more confident because she truly believed in me, and that really resonated through all of our individual workouts. She believed in me. She knew that what I was producing on the court was not my best, and it was something that I was dealing with mentally rather than physically. So she really pushed me to be a better player. She pushed me to kind of dig down deep and kind of figure out why I wasn't able to produce like I used to be able to, and how we could fix that. So that's how Coach D really helped me on the court, is she believed in me. She knew that I could be successful, and she wanted to help me get there. So we did a lot of extra training sessions to be able to get my confidence back and be able to play better. Off the court, like I said before, she really was able to help me deal with some of the things that I was going through with basketball. She sat down with me and had different conversations to be able to help with how I could deal with some of the challenges that I was going through, how I was able to talk to other people, to be able to, not feel like I was so alone in the struggles that I was going through, and to be able to, realize that just because there was certain people that didn't always believe in me, didn't always have my best interest at heart, that I myself needed to, perform great because it helped me feel better, and not always do things for everybody else, but to play for myself and for the people that truly loved and cared about me. I think that she is able to kind of separate the personal side and basketball side once you get on the court. She's able to be intense, but also understand how to talk to certain people that, would need to be talked to differently. I think some head coaches, they talk to everybody the same way, and it's challenging for some people that don't quite have the same personality to be able to handle things like that. So I think that is one of the things that I think Coach D would be great as a head coach, is to be able to obviously understand that basketball is an intense sport, be able to keep winning in her main interest, but always keep all the players' best interests at heart, and be able to connect with them on a deeper level so that they understand that she doesn't just care about them as a player. She cares about their well-being. She cares about their mental health. And honestly, to me, I struggled finding that through my college experience, and it's hard to play for people that you don't know if they always have your best interests at heart. It's hard to play for people that you don't know if they always genuinely care about you. But for people that care about you, for people that have their best interests at heart, it's so much easier to put your best effort out there because you know that they're always giving you your best. And that's something that day in and day out, you never had to wonder if Coach D was giving you her best. She came in every single day with the same attitude, always level-headed, you always knew what you could expect from her. So I think playing for somebody like that would be amazing, because day in and day out, you knew that you had that sense of security that you were always going to get your best from her, so you wanted to give your best. So personally, I talked about this before, my individual workouts with Coach D, I was able to kind of gain my confidence back. We worked on a lot of different post moves, but keeping it simple, because a lot of times I was just overthinking it. I was trying to do too much. And so being able to truly just go back to the basics, because I am bigger than a lot of people. I am stronger than a lot of people. And so she was able to kind of remind me of that, because sometimes I was doing a lot of different moves to kind of go around the defense. And she's like, listen, you're big enough and strong enough. Let's just go through them. Like, put the ball and your opponent in the basket. She told me of that a lot. So just working on basic footwork, basic things to kind of get me back to the level I was before was really important. We also did workouts. We'd integrate guards to be able to work on catching their passes, then work on post feeds. So it was really cool too to be able to work with different positions throughout our individual workouts also. Coach D also was one of my favorite people to do scouting reports. Whenever I went into a game, I always knew that I was going to be 1000% prepared. She was always very thorough. I knew what my player did. I knew how to counteract the way that they played defense. I knew how to take away their strengths on offense, and also knew what players really we needed to focus on, but also not that we only focused on their main players. We were fully aware of all their other role players and how to take away their strengths also, so that, you know, it wasn't just like, oh, well, the main player didn't score, but everybody else had above their averages, so they ended up winning. We never took any player, any team lightly when she did the scouting report, so that was really important. I think that Coach D, as a head coach, I think that her program would be centered around a family, centered around us as people, us as individuals, and then focus on being a basketball player after that. Because I think sometimes coaches and programs get away from that. They forget that their players are first people. And I think that a lot of programs, you know, that's where they have their downfalls. They only focus on basketball. They never allow their teams to go out and do extra things. I think that Coach D would keep things obviously serious enough, because, you know, winning is the most important thing, but also to be able to do a lot of team building. I think that she would keep things fun. We always talked about doing more things as a team, like on road trips and stuff like that, and she was always open to that. I think that she would really make sure that all of her her players felt like they were important, felt like they had somebody to go to talk to. And I think having a great relationship with the head coach is something that I kind of struggled with throughout my years, and it really made me feel more anxious and had more pressure on me while I was on the court, rather than playing for somebody that I knew had believed in me, somebody that I knew I could talk to, somebody that could relate to struggles that I had. Especially her playing in college, she could relate to a lot of the things that I could. So I think that is how her programs would be so successful, is that she was really able to connect with a person on a deeper level and then resonate that onto the basketball floor. So I think that her programs would be super successful. I would love to see her as a head coach, and I would go support her. I have a lot of extra time now that I'm not playing anymore, so I'm gonna go support all of my old teammates and coaches that I care about, that have helped develop me. And I would love to see Coach D have her own team. I would definitely go visit, and it would be cool to see her be successful on her own. So yeah, Coach D made a huge impact on my life and, my basketball career. And she truly was a huge motivator in me finishing the year off strong, finishing my last year off the best possible way I could. So I have a lot to thank Coach D for, and it would be great to see her in that position.